Welcome back to a Denver 7 special presentation. The murder of an innocent 10-year-old and how the system failed to protect him.
So many cries for help, unanswered. Even while neighbors say there were obvious warning signs. They knew something was wrong. Cries for help everyone seemed to ignore. The family you're about to meet tried to call DHS, but didn't have all the details. They too can't understand how the system failed Ty.
This is the letter that Contour 39 put on our doors telling us about this.
Lee Woods woke up to this letter on his front door, alerting him to a fatal incident at his Lone Tree apartment complex. Keep in mind, this is 6 days after it happened.
Didn't hear nothing about it until yesterday.
Woods would later learn the heartbreaking news.
When I talked to my wife, I said, yeah, it happened right here in the complex, look it up. So she looked it up and then called me back squalling. She said, Lee, it's Ty. His daddy killed him. That's the way we found out.
10-year-old Ty Tesoriero's father killed him and then turned the gun on himself. Hours before, he was going to lose custody of his son. The same little boy his wife and 2 sons first met over the summer.
Never met the father. My boys, Kobe, Dean, and Kane, would be at the pool. He would come in.
This is when Woods says the first warning signs surfaced.
Every time we seen him, he was always by himself.
He says Ty was always alone at the pool, something that concerned his wife Gail, so she decided to tell apartment management.
They had problems, complaints with his father and Ty about Ty being left by himself. Said that they would reach out to somebody.
It's unclear if anyone ever reached out, but Woods said his wife then started exchanging text messages with Ty, where he confided in her that his dad would lock him up in his room.
But he was worried about his daddy finding the text messages that he was sending Gail. He wanted to see his mother, but he was told his mother was on drugs and she was in Hawaii.
More lies from Dad and text messages they now see as cries for help from a 10-year-old boy trapped in an unspeakable situation.
Heartbroken. Makes me feel like I could have done more, which I didn't. Even if it doesn't seem right, if a kid reaches out to you, you need to listen and talk to somebody for that kid. Don't just let it go to the side.
One of the big questions in this case is, how did Anthony have access to a gun? Jing's ex had a mandatory protection order to stay away from her and not harass her, an order filed for domestic violence. That means he should have never had a gun. One of the many failures in this case.
I was such a sweet kid. He has so much potential.
Ty Tesoriero should be looking forward to his 11th birthday and the start of his new school year.
He should be back in school and playing with the kids.
Instead, his mother Jing is getting ready to bury her firstborn and fighting to change the system she says failed her.
Did they protect your son?
No, nobody did.
Her ex shot her son and then turned the gun on himself, just hours after he learned he was going to lose custody of Ty. But the Douglas County judge let him go home with Dad while she finished her written order.
Ty shouldn't have been there in the house. He's a very good actor. I think he convinced everybody. The police, the caseworker, the judge, multiple judges, the school.
So you had a mandatory protection order?
Yes.
And what did that say?
No harassment, no stalking, no contact, no third-party contact.
A protection order she's had since 2015, which should have prevented her ex from ever having a gun. A state law passed in 2013 says domestic abusers with protection orders have to turn over their firearms. In Anthony's case, Jing's attorney Caroline Cooley says that never happened.
It is required that there be a certification that the defendant does not have any weapons, and that certification needs to be filed with the court. That certification never happened.
One of the countless failures in the system meant to protect Ty.
The weapons were not removed, and the information that I have is that the weapon used in this case matched one of the weapons listed in the affidavit on the prenuptial agreement.
A gun Anthony should have been forced to surrender, used to do the unthinkable.
I don't want this to ever happen again. I don't want another kid get hurt because of manipulating parents.
We have more on this investigation right after the break.